Okay, once again, you are welcome to this demonstration, and in today's class, we're going to be focusing on vulnerability scanning. We're going to have a quick definition of what vulnerability scanning is, and then we'll take a look at the 5 major tools that you could use to carry out vulnerability scanning in your own environment, be it on premises or within the cloud. I'm the Tech Mentor, and I'm going to be your guide in this short presentation. So let's begin with the definition of vulnerability scanning. So what exactly is vulnerability scanning? Already we know what vulnerability is, right? Vulnerability is any form of weakness, right? It could be a weakness in a security policy, a weakness in an application, in a hardware, any form of weakness within the IT environment. That is a vulnerability. Now, sometimes we need to have specific tools in place to be able to detect which of our IT systems has which vulnerability. That's where vulnerability scanning comes in handy. So defining what a vulnerability scan is, simply put, vulnerability scanning is a process, okay? So it's a process of identifying security weaknesses and the flaws that could exist within your IT systems, okay? Could also be within the software that are running on those systems. So how do we check that those systems and the software application that run on them are secure? Okay, we have to perform what is called a vulnerability scan. And so when we perform vulnerability scanning, we're actually trying to see if any known vulnerabilities exist within those IT systems. Okay, but then in order for us to carry out vulnerability scan, we need to have specific tools that will help us to perform the scan. All right, so we have quite a number of tools that can be used to perform vulnerability scanning, and we cannot exhaust all the tools there are on the internet, but I just listed some 5 major tools here. As you can see on the whiteboard, so real quick, I'm going to pick up my pen here, and you can see the tool number 1 that I put in here is Nessus, right? This beautiful tool called Nessus. Okay, so I'm going to go to the website, and in fact, I'm going to visit all the sites of all the tools that we have here. My preferred tool for scanning for vulnerabilities in an enterprise environment, of course, is Nessus. But we also have OpenVAS, which is open source vulnerability assessment scanner. This is from Greenbone Network. And we also have Nexpose from Rapid7. We also have AlgoSec, and not forgetting Kuleis. Okay, so if I take to the web real quick, so we'll get into the preferred tool of my choice, which is Nessus, right? So let's take a look at Nessus, which is from Tenable.io. So here you go to tenable.com, and then you look at products, and then Nessus. And Nessus is a global gold standard in vulnerability scanning. So that's, you see Nessus in almost all the enterprise environment. So there are different variants of Nessus. We have Nessus Expert, and then we have Nessus Professional. You could just go through the two and see what features that one supports and the other doesn't support. For instance, you cannot perform web application scans if you are using Nessus Professional, but if you are using Nessus Expert, you probably will be able to do all the things here. So you could see these ones will have external attack surface scan, ability to add domains, etc. It cannot be done using Nessus Professional. So you can actually try each of these and see how it works, and use it to perform a scan, maybe within your home lab, and just to lay your hands on experience. All right, so this way you can get Nessus. In another video, not on this very one, we're going to see how you can set up Nessus using Kali Linux. It could also be done within an Ubuntu machine if you have Ubuntu VM on your VirtualBox. Okay, so that's what's a brief overview of what Nessus is. And let's take a look at OpenVAS, which is from Greenbone Network. I will actually be showing you how to set up OpenVAS. So you go to openvas.org. You can see Greenbone is one maintaining it. There's open source vulnerability assessment scanner. And so OpenVAS is huge. and it also performs all sorts of scans, including network scan. And actually, I've already navigated to the download of this, so you could see the greenbone.net and test now, and you can actually define what type of OpenVAS, which platform you want to download for OpenVAS. I'll be downloading for VirtualBox. So you could see here we have two options. We have VMware Workstation. So if you're using VMware Workstation, you're going to download for VMware Workstation. But my virtualization platform here is VirtualBox. So that means I'll be downloading OpenVAS for VirtualBox. All you need to do is to expand this download, and then you're going to click on download for Oracle VirtualBox now. And it's going to download that, guys. It's about 1.7 gig or thereabouts. Okay, so already I've downloaded that guy, and in a moment I'm going to show you how to set it up. And the third scanner is from Rapid7. Okay, so here we have Nextpose from Rapid7. Let's head over to their website and see what Nextpose is able to do. So rapid7.com product Nextpose, and this is a vulnerability scanner. It can also work within the on-premises. So you've got servers, switches, routers, etc., Windows machines, Active Directory running in your office, the on-premises. And you can also use Nextpose to scan them for vulnerabilities, for weaknesses. And if these weaknesses are not discovered early enough, the bad guys discover them ahead of us, then you could have data breach. Okay, and then another tool I want to mention here is AlgoSec, right? So the AlgoSec, let's head over to their website and see what they've got to offer. So AlgoSec security management will have the firewall analyzer. I actually like this very one, firewall analyzer, and we have other tools that they offer, AlgoSec Fireflow, etc. And you could just go through the demo and see how the tool works. Now there's one powerful tool here, Coolies. Coolies is another vulnerability scanner. Actually, it's cloud-based, so it can do a whole lot of stuff. Could do asset management. It could also do risk remediation, including the cloud infrastructures, things you've got within the AWS or Azure platform could also be scanned using Coolies. Let's just take a look at the solutions that they offer. So it could provide you with endpoint security, compliance, PCI scan, like PCI compliance, and a host of other security features like threat protection, etc. Okay, so it's good for both small businesses, mid-sized businesses, even the enterprises, and even the federal agencies. Okay, so the Coolies is a very, very intelligent scanner. It can actually help you to scan for attack surface, right? Custom assessment, remediation, patch management, and a host of other features. Just take your time to tour this, and they also have some trainings that you can undertake without paying a dime, and he puts you through on how to use some of the many tools and solutions that they have here, and you're going to get certificates at the end of the training. Okay, so this is just a high-level overview of all the tools available, and I'm now going to go ahead and show you how you can install the Greenbone in a VirtualBox environment. I've already downloaded the Greenbone, the enterprise trial for VirtualBox. Okay, so I'm going to power on my VirtualBox right about now. Okay, so you could see my VirtualBox interface, and you're also going to see that I already have Greenbone installed, right? Not to worry, I'm going to get rid of it. So I'm going to right click on this guy, and I'm going to say remove. Okay, remove only. So the Greenbone is gone. I downloaded it and it's in my music directory. So how do we get it installed? So we could go to file at the top left hand side of your VirtualBox, and we'll go to import appliances, and then we'll have to browse to where the Greenbone is located in our PC. So in my own case, it's located on the I think music. All right, so here you could see Greenbone Enterprise Trial. So going to select that guy and going to open and go to next, and that's pretty much what you need to do. Take note that it takes 5 gig of RAM in your system and 2 CPUs. So if your system is just 8 gig of RAM, then you have to do something to this to reduce it. Otherwise, your system is going to freeze up. So I'm going to click on finish and wait for the import of this Greenbone to complete. And then once it's fully imported, then we're going to come back here to power it on. All right, so you could see the Greenbone Enterprise has just been imported, and you saw what I showed you. So on the VirtualBox, all you need to do is go to File and go to Import Appliance, and then you've got to browse to where the Greenbone is located. Before you do all of that, you should have at least downloaded it. All right, so that's how to import it into the VirtualBox. Okay, so you could see here it's taking 5,120 MB and it's taking 2 CPUs of my system. That is going to impact on the performance of this PC because this PC has already got 8 gig of RAM and only Greenbone is taking 5 out of that 8. So we'll have to make some changes here. So I'm going to go to settings, and the first thing I do is to go to network and make sure that the Greenbone is on bridge adapter because I want it to be able to access my laptop and vice versa. And once that is done, we also go to system, and in here I'm going to reduce this from 5 gig to just 2 gig, which is 2048. And for the processor, I think I can give this guy like 1 CPU. All right, because this system has only got 4. Okay, and that being said, I'm going to click on OK, and then it's now time to power on this guy. So click on Start, and hopefully it's going to come up, and then I finish the installation of this Greenbone and see if I can access it from my PC. And once that is done, then we are now set to perform a vulnerability scan using the OpenVAS from Greenbone network. Okay, so the machine is trying to come up. All right, so it's actually giving me full screen, so I'm going to minimize that. Okay, so because I put it on bridge adapter, it comes up and pick an IP address from my network, right? That is fine, and you have to make sure that you take this IP address down. This is 0.120, right? So I'm just going to open up a notepad here. So open up a notepad, and on the notepad, where is it? So on the notepad, I'm going to put what the IP address is real quick. This guy. So that's 192.168.0.20, and that actually is in line with my laptop. Okay, so if I should search for CMD on my laptop, and this is the command prompt, and I'm going to do ncpa.cpl, and yeah, so we wait for this to come up, and yeah, so you could see my Wi-Fi. So I'm currently connected to a Wi-Fi. Let's check what my IP address is. So this is 0.187, and Greenbone is on let me close this and look at it here. So try to the Greenbone is on 0.120, right? So the Greenbone is on 0.120, and my laptop is on 0. I think 0 dot something, okay, 0.187. So from the look of things, my laptop should be able to ping the Greenbone. Let's try it out. 192.168. 0.120, which is the Greenbone IP address, and my laptop is able to reach the Greenbone because we put the Greenbone on bridge adapter. Take note of that. All right, so the default username for this machine is admin. Hit the enter key, and the password is also admin. We hit the enter key as well, and then it's going to allow us to follow the instructions on the screen and get this guy set up. Okay, so let's just wait for the Greenbone to respond. So starting menu. All right, so this is Greenbone OS administration. So it's going to walk us through and finalizing the setup of this scanner. Okay, so once the setup menu is displayed, it's going to ask you here, do you want to complete the setup? Of course, we want to complete it. So I'm going to hit the enter key for yes. So user for the web interface. So we actually be managing this Greenbone through a web browser of another PC. So when we want to access it through a web browser, it's going to ask us for username and password. So do you want to create a global web admin now? Yes. So hit enter key. And then I'm going to just create a simple username. And once you type in your username, don't touch your mouse at this point. You'll be using the down arrow key on your keyboard to get to the password section. And I'm just going to keep my password simple and use the down arrow key again and then confirm my password. And at this point, I need to click on tab on the keyboard and then hit enter to select. So we're going to wait for the account creation to be completed, and then we'll go ahead and finalize this setup of the OpenVAS. So let's just hang on for the account. So we should see a box saying user created, and then once that is done, we can proceed. So now you can see user created, and then we just have to hit the enter key on the keyboard. So once you press the enter key on the keyboard to OK it, we are good because the web user has been created. All right. So that's what we are waiting for now, so that we can finalize this installation of the OpenVAS. So sometimes it might take a few seconds for this window to disappear. So the moment you have pressed the enter key on your keyboard, just have to wait until the window goes up. Okay, so the OK has been accepted. So you're saying there is no subscription key for the Greenbone Enterprise feed installed. What actually is telling us is that we don't have a license key. We cannot actually download a license key and use this Greenbone with all the full features for 14 days. So here it says you can request an evaluation subscription key valid for 14 days via the greenbone.net by sending an email to sales@greenbone.net. So they're going to send you a license key that will give you all the full functionalities of this guy. For now, we don't have any license key. Of course, if we do have, we'd have hit enter key to open an editor and paste in the license. All right. So, but we don't have a key, so we're going to just skip this session. Just use your arrow key on the keyboard and switch to skip and hit enter. And then it's now running self-check. Of course, we are not going to have all the full features of this Greenbone because we're not using the license key. So we're going to have a limited version of Greenbone, but the features that we'll still have is good enough to show us how to carry out a scan against our IT infrastructure. Okay, so it's running self-check, and we just have to hang on for the self-check to complete, and then we'll go ahead and see how we can log on to the Greenbone and eventually perform a scan. All right, so check if feed is up to date. Severity normal. So basically I'm just going to hit on OK. and I'm just going to log out. So we are done with the setup. So, and I'm just going to go to back. So all of these selections is made using my arrow key on the keyboard and pressing the enter key. Log out. So are you sure you want to log out? Switch it to yes and hit enter key, and that's it. So it's going to display the IP address once again on the screen here. So what I'm going to do is to go to my laptop, open a web browser, and point to the IP address of this green bone. And that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to point to 0.120 on my laptop's web browser. So let me bring up Firefox and just open another tab. So this IP of the green bone is 192.168.0.120 and hit the enter key. And it's going to complain about certificates. We are aware of it. So go to advanced and we'll click on proceed. Okay. It's going to launch the login interface. Correct. And the username is set up during the initial setup of the green bone, or username of admin and password of admin. Just keep it simple. And in the dashboard of this machine or this scanner. All right. So that's how to set up the green bone. Okay. So on a virtual box, just go to their website, download it. If you're using VirtualBox, if you're using VMware, then you have to download for VMware, right? That's pretty much it. And then in our next presentation, we're going to see how we can configure a scan and begin to scan for vulnerabilities against the systems that we've got within our internal network. All right. So thank you so very much for watching this tutorial. And if you really enjoyed it, kindly subscribe to the channel. Bye for now.